Hey Taurus, welcome to my channel. This is Venus Baby Tarot, and I'm here to just give you a message from Spirit today. So I was in reflection this morning and really just kind of thinking about like what I've been feeling from Taurus lately, and there's this energy of uncertainty, kind of being on the fence, like being right on the precipice of something and not quite being sure what that is. And I think that it's not any surprise to me because of the fact that like the Phoenix energy keeps coming out in my Taurus readings. And and because that seems to be like what's going on with you. Like there's just this, you're like right on the verge of rising, and I just see that it just keeps being pushed in my readings because this is a message that really needs to be heard. Because I feel like Taurus, like there is a piece of your personal power. Well, while you may have personal power in a lot of ways, but there's a piece of your personal power that you have not quite claimed yet in an area of your life, in a specific area of your life. So let's see what the cards have in store for you, Taurus. You have the that's the 5 of Pentacles. Right? Yeah, that's the 5 of Pentacles. Sorry, I had to like think about it for a second. Interesting. What? The 5 of Wands. Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, that tracks. You have integrity, but do you see back here? Do you see how there's the owl and there's the, is that a leopard or a cougar? It doesn't matter. It's a very powerful creature. We're going to leave it at that. I did have to put some hearts over her because she's kind of barren and vulnerable. Yeah, I mean bare and vulnerable. Yeah, so without saying the actual word. So then you have the Ace of Pentacles and you have desire on the bottom of the deck. I think that that's what's happening, is that the universe is asking you to really consider what you desire at this time in your life. Let me kind of move that back. Because look, I mean, I think that with the 5 of Pentacles coming out as your first card, to me, this is a lot of like, it's a lot of discomfort. It really is, because I feel like there's been a period of your life where you felt like you played your cards right and things did not work out the way that you would have liked them to, right? And I do get the sense that like that's what the battle is about. Like I'm really seeing this as an internal battle. It can be external. I mean, it can be that there are forces around you that are just not supporting the direction or the trajectory that you're trying to move in your life, okay? But I get the sense that also it's like it's kind of an energy of you're afraid to be hopeful because you feel like if you're hopeful that you're going to get tricked. And that's sad to me. And I think that that's really sad to me because I feel like what the cards are trying to tell you is to trust in the integrity of the universe. While there may have been people in your past that tricked you, there may have been people who pretended to support you and they really didn't. They pretended to see you, or you felt safe with them and they turned out to not be a safe person, or you went down a path that you felt like was the right path and it turned out to not be the right path and it didn't go the way that you would have liked it to go. Whatever, like just because that happened in your life does not mean that the universe does not have integrity. You know, I feel like ultimately, I mean, integrity is like doing the right thing, right? Especially when no one's looking. And I think that even when you're expecting things to fall apart around you, the universe can still show up for you. And I think that that's the wisdom that is needing to be grabbed here. Because I do get the sense that there is something like you're just right on the precipice. I don't know what, like I gotta see here. All right, let's get Taurus here. Let's get you a couple of these. Position of authority. I mean, seriously, can't make this stuff up. Position of authority. That's the power that you are not quite. Look, there's the owl again. That's the power that you're just, it's like you almost have it, but you don't quite have it. I really feel that there's quite a bit of discomfort happening for you. I really do. But you have this new start here. You have new, fresh, like growth, seeds being planted. There is some sort of new energy that is going to be happening within you. Let's go ahead and get some more. Three of Wands. You know what I get too? I think that you, Taurus, have been waiting for it to be your turn. I feel like you've seen development in other people's lives around you, and you're like, okay, so when is it my turn? But I would really encourage you to look at like the ways that things have gone right for you. I really would encourage you to look at that, because it could just be in one area of your life that you're feeling like it hasn't been your turn. Like, say if you've been single for a while and you've really desired something, and you just have been feeling like the universe is just not delivering. The universe is not delivering. It could be in money. The universe is not delivering. But I think that, this is a joined process. Like you're working together with the universe. I feel like the universe could be giving you opportunities, signs, synchronicities, but there seems to be this like underlying self-doubt that could keep you from embracing those opportunities. And I do get, because of this sad figure that's looking down, that's the past, right? Back there. I feel like it's because of things that have occurred in the past, and it just makes it difficult. Like that's the best way I can, put it, is it makes it difficult to trust. It does. I'm going to get one from this right here. Come here. All right, it's both of these. Oh, look at that. The hat. You'll be playing a different role. This is so funny because actually I had a Taurus client the other day, and that was the message that came through was to put on a different hat. Like it's time to sort of shift to a new vibrational frequency of yourself, into a new energy of yourself. Okay? That's really interesting. Frying pan. It says trouble, accusations. We'll see how that plays out, because I feel like that could be part of it here with that Five of Wands. So you also have the Hermit card over here. So I've been feeling like you're waiting for it to be your turn. Like, when is your luck going to change? And for a lot of you, it has to do with money, because the King of Pentacles, it could be in terms of your career. You're waiting on that raise. You're waiting on more clients. You're waiting on some sort of development in your financial situation. But for others of you, it can be something that you're committed to, like a relationship, for instance. I just got the message of, I've been with this person for so long, like, when are they going to ask me to marry them? When? I've been waiting, and I feel like you could feel really disappointed because it hasn't happened yet. That's for somebody, maybe not all of you, obviously. So the thing about the Three of Wands is that, a lot of tarot readers call that the ship's coming in, right? For me, I often see it as a card of waiting. Because the ships aren't quite there yet. But I feel a little bit too, because these are two very different energies. I feel like, on one hand, like in this process of waiting for things to unfold for you, you've been feeling kind of slighted by the universe. I get just an overwhelming sense of like discomfort, depression even, and I think that it really just has a lot to do with how you're seeing things, because as humans, we tend to, if something is not going right in our life, and maybe this isn't for everybody, but if something is not going right, then everything is not going right, especially if it's the thing that we really desire. And that's why it's so important. Like gratitude list, I make gratitude lists. Gratitude lists are so important because they can really shift your perspective and they can really get you into seeing like how things are going right for you. And maybe it's just the one or two things that just aren't, and that never stops. I mean, because once you get to, the top, and you overcome something, you have something else that comes up, and that's just the way that it goes. Who was it that I saw the other day? Was it Thich Nhat Hanh? I think that was who it was I was watching, saying that. Just like, there's always going to be something that happens. There's going to be financial losses, like somebody passes away, breakups, losing your job, having to leave home, et cetera, et cetera. Like there's always going to be something. And so if you stay in the mindset of, oh, this isn't working out for me, everything sucks, then your whole life sucks and then you're just miserable. And so I think that in this period, if you are feeling slighted by the universe, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling down and out, really focus on the things in your life that are going right, and maybe that can help shift your mindset, because it does look like things are very uncomfortable for you right now. And obviously, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I tend to be a very positive person. Like I try to be very eternally optimistic, but I also don't ignore the emotional process that's going on. I don't ignore the darkness, because I feel like the more that you train yourself to learn how to cope with whatever is going on around you, the next time something comes up, you'll be equipped to cope with it, instead of just constantly like bypassing it. Oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, until one day like everything piles up around you and you have like this total mental breakdown because you don't know how to handle, crisis. So I do try to focus on the positive. Absolutely. However, if there's something going on within you, I'm going to tell you. If I see it here, I'm not just going to be like, oh, the Five of Wands, there could be some internal challenges, but, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'm not going to do that to you. If anything, I'm going to tell you what I see as far as the solution goes in the cards. But anyway, let's get back to your message. So what I love about this King of Pentacles here, I just heard loud and proud. And I think that like I'm looking over here, King of Pentacles, the throne, position of authority, like embodying that energy of being loud and proud, being very fiercely determined to focus on your goals, your desires, your dreams, your aspirations in life. And also, while doing that, being focused on, wow, how things are going so well for you right now. Because I really feel like, what we think about, we bring about, right? And if you're thinking about, oh man, crap, everything is just falling apart right now, like life just sucks, then you're going to see more evidence of that. You really are. And just as much as I feel like I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. Like, I think that Taurus as a collective has been asked to change, to transition at this time. That's why the Phoenix just keeps coming out. And because of that, there is discomfort, it's not something like to make a major transition, to change the trajectory of your life or of your mind is not always comfortable. It's not. But I feel like you're definitely being called to move into a direction that is going to be different for you. And so I feel like this is the energy to embody, being loud and proud. Be proud of your accomplishments. Maybe you're not exactly where you want to be in life right now. Maybe you don't make as much money as you would like to make. Maybe you're not in the dream relationship or the home or, the career yet. Maybe you're in school right now and you just can't wait to get there. Okay. And maybe things just aren't exactly how you want them to be, but that doesn't mean that life's not still good for you. And I think that this is about appreciating the moments. In let's see, in the what is the name of that deck? Osho Zen Tarot. The Three of Wands is actually called experiencing. It's very much about being in the moment. Yeah, you're waiting on your ships to come in. Cool. But what's happening right here, right now? What is there to be joyous about right here, right now? How can you shift out of the Five of Pentacles? How can you shift out of the, because like in the traditional Rider-Waite, like they're standing outside of a church and the lights are on. Why aren't they going inside? Is it a choice to stand outside? Or do they feel like they are unwanted? Do they feel like they are unwelcome? Are they actually unwelcome? Or is that just a perspective that they have? You know what I mean? And I feel like this is about you making a different choice to see things differently, to focus your attention elsewhere. Because I feel like things are uncomfortable right now because you're looking at the wrong things. And that's not to judge you or shame you in any fashion whatsoever. I mean, I go through these things myself. I really do. But like with this Hermit energy, he's looking directly at that light. Like very intently trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel. Very intently. Which means that there's a tunnel. Which means that there's darkness. Okay, which means that there's discomfort for you right now. But there also is light at the end of the tunnel. And I do think that ultimately it is a choice. It is a choice in how you see things. Okay, so then we have the Five of Wands here. This is aggressive energy. It's aggressive. And I just actually kind of heard that it's how you treat yourself. And the thing about it is that, I often say that the ego can be abusive. The voice in our minds that's telling us that, we aren't shit. It can be really abusive at times. And we try to counteract that with, the feeling good about ourselves. No, I'm amazing. I'm good at what I do. I'm successful. Things like that. We try to counteract that. But that ego will still try to find a way to put us down because it is so deeply rooted in our subconscious and past, narratives and patterns and, situations, traumas, wounds, whatever. Like it's so deeply rooted in all of that. And so it has a loud voice. The ego just has a loud voice because of those things. And then our conscious awareness will help us to counteract that. But I just get the sense that the ego, your past wounding, whoever is, and I talk about these things a lot, and the reason why I talk about them is because they don't ever actually go away. You heal them, you overcome them, but then if you change paths in your life, like say for instance, here I'm just going to give you an example. So say for instance, you had you were in university and you were on your career path, and in the back of your mind you had like a grandfather or a father, and just like the things that they would tell you and how that seemed to like steer your path. Like you felt that you were supposed to do things a certain way because of what you were taught, okay, for instance, right? And then you get to where you're going and you're feeling really good about yourself, and that sort of dissipates. You know, you feel sort of healed a little bit by that. Like you've reached a point in your life where you feel accomplished on your own and you no longer feel the need to please anybody or align with anybody else's dream, right? But then say you have children and you have all these well-meaning people around you trying to tell you how you should do things. And then again, like the ego starts to beat you down again. I don't know if I'm doing a good enough job. I'm a terrible parent. Like, you know, and I think that if you're a parent, you know, like, especially like moms, you know, the mom guilt, like, you know, it's just something that happens. Right. And our minds can tend to beat us down sometimes. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Like, I feel like if anything, like this is just like internally what is going on within you. Like it's a beat down. It's a beat down. Like I'm not enough. I'm worthless. I don't even know what the point is. And I know that this reading isn't going to be for everybody. And I totally believe that Taurus is a boss. Like I cannot even begin to tell you, you do not mess with the bull. Bulls are huge. You don't mess with a bull. Okay. But everybody has self-doubt. Everybody has insecurities. You can't tell me that people don't. We all do. And I think that something has been picking at that. And I don't even necessarily know if it's something in the external environment or if it's just something that's happening within you right now, because you are being called to shed those old, like, standards for yourself and expectations for yourself and emerge with a newfound sense of awareness about what is right for you. And I have been feeling that, like lots of Phoenix energy. And of course the Judgment card came out, you know, and I very much a lot of the times correlate the Judgment with the Phoenix. So that's why you have the Two of Wands here. You know, it's all about the path that you're choosing. It's all about the trajectory that you're choosing for yourself. I think that the doorway is lit up. I think that the universe, your guides, they're showing you the way. But I think that ultimately, like, we still have free will and we will be guided. It's like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And that's what's happening. I feel like the universe is sort of guiding you out of all of this that's going on within the ego, with you emotionally, with your mental processing, with the path that you're taking, the choices. Like the universe is trying to guide you to a different way. But ultimately, you have to be the one to take the steps. You have to walk up these stairs and walk through this lit up door. You have to make the choice. Because I feel like at this time, something that is so important for you to recognize, because the seven of Pentacles for me can be a card of investment, right? And I think that it's going to be really important for you to acknowledge, what am I giving my energy to? Am I giving my energy to an old outdated path, to an old outdated mindset, to an old outdated career, relationship, just path in my life? Or am I giving my energy to what I truly desire? Am I giving my energy to the light at the end of the tunnel? Am I giving my energy to hope? Right? And I think that this is also too about doing the next right thing in front of you. What can you do? What solutions can you focus on right now? You know, if you are dealing with this just crushing weight of existential dread right now, what can you do to make yourself feel better right now? I mean, pick up a paintbrush, you know, learn how to crochet or knit or sew, you know, go outside and shoot some basketball. Go get together with some friends and shoot some pool. Go play some video games. Like, what is going to make you feel good about yourself right now? And watch how that sort of radiates to other areas of your life, you know? Because I think that ultimately, sometimes we fight the battles and sometimes we leave the battles, right? And I think that right now, perhaps you're not supposed to fight the battle within. You're supposed to say, I'm going to set this aside for now, and I'm going to go focus my attention. I'm going to invest my attention into a new path for myself. You know, this something new that can make me feel good, okay? An example I'll give you for me, I'm going on vacation, okay? I need it. I need it. Single mom life, totally need this, okay? And this is something that I know, like, I've put so much energy into, like planning and like things I want to see, things that I want to do, like, and that's really like a good use of my mental energy right now because of stress that I've been dealing with in my life, okay? And that's the next right thing that I can do for myself at this time. You know, that's how I can harness my own power, by really channeling my energy into something that is making me feel less stressed out and good about myself. You know, how are you going to invest your energy? Because I also feel like the best way to smash the ego is not to elevate yourself to the point where you're like, oh, I'm better than that, necessarily, because I think that in a sense could also be feeding into the ego, but I digress. But instead to just do things that make you feel good on a soul level, you know, that feel in alignment with your heart and your mind and your spirit. And then I just feel like when you do that, the ego really has no power. It really doesn't, you know, because you're feeling too good. What is that saying? Too blessed to be stressed. That's not the one I was thinking of. It's not coming to me. But anyway, okay. So right here we have this integrity card with the Judgment and the High Priestess. And I really saw this as the universe. I see this as like the goddess, like Aphrodite, you know, Venus, right? That's kind of how I see that card right there. And I feel like this is basically telling you, trust that the universe is going to deliver. The universe is going to deliver. What you need to focus on is how you're going to rise above, like how you're going to get out of this, okay? But also I want to tell you, like, this High Priestess here, your higher self, your guides, you know, the universe is lifting you up, is rising you up, okay? It's just uncomfortable right now because you are shifting. You are shedding. You're shedding old, outdated energies. And it's just, and when that happens, they come to the surface and you feel the discomfort. You know, Pluto in Aquarius squares Taurus, right? So that creates like a tension point, you know? And so things feel tense. They feel tense inside, you know? And they may feel tense externally. But that's just because Pluto wants you to transform. Wants you to completely change the game. You know, wants you to be the phoenix and rise above. You know, what is the solution here? And how can I get out of this, right? There's got to be a way. You know, maybe sometimes you need to pray for the way, you know, or even like pray for, or ask the universe, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, like ask the universe, like, you know, give me the willingness to take these steps, you know, to make the changes that I need to make within or in my life so that I can stop feeling like I'm just waiting on it to be my turn. I'm just waiting on things to get better and they're not getting better. Because I think that they are getting better. I just don't think that it's felt like that lately. I really don't. But okay. The High Priestess, look at that. She's not only your inner voice, she's your higher self. Right? And I think I just hear like these whispers. Like they're little whispers They're whispers that are telling you, like, this is something that would be really good for you. Why don't you try this? This is something that's going to feel good. Why don't you try this? Why don't you just see where it takes you? You know, walk through that door. Rise to the challenge. And see, because I think that honestly, you're stepping into a position of authority where you are finally starting to acknowledge the power that you have in this area of your life. This does not mean as a whole. You could feel very powerful in your career, but then you struggle in romantic relationships. Okay? You could feel very powerful in your capacity to make a lot of money, but you struggle to manage it. Okay? You could feel very powerful in your capacity to have a healthy relationship, but you have a complex relationship with other people in your life, or you struggle in your career. You know, or you struggle in going after something that you really want to do, but you're afraid to do it because you're afraid that things are not going to go well for you. That it'll never be your turn. It could be that you feel like, you know, there are too many people who do the kind of thing that you want to do. And what makes me think that anybody wants to hear what I have to say? And here's what I have to say about that, okay? I'm a tarot reader. Like, there are a bajillion tarot readers. Like, there really are. And I have just learned that the right people are going to find me, and the right people want to hear the messages that come through me. And that's that. It's not about the views. It's not about whatever. It's about helping people and using what you have, like bringing yourself to the table. And the right people will find you. And that's that. You know, like, I think that sometimes, like, we make it harder on ourselves than it actually has to be. You know, it's like we get so attached to, like, things have to be a certain way, right? But what if you just let go and said, I'm just going to do what feels right. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But here's the deal, Taurus. The Ace of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, the Two of Cups. This is lovely. This is your outcome energy. I really think that it's time to rise, honey. It's just time to rise. It's time to believe in yourself with everything in you, no matter what. If other people around you don't believe in you, screw them. Screw them. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. It's not their life. I think that it all comes down to you. And I think that this has been the last couple of months I've been seeing this for Taurus. It's just been a really uncomfortable energy, but also a really amazing energy. Because I feel like there are little glimmers of realizations about how you can harness this power, how you can be the phoenix. And then there's like the ego trying to pull you back, you know, just but what if I screw up? You know, what if I go all in and it doesn't work out, you know, and then that holds you back. And then you feel, you know, called to step into that power again, and then you get held back. And it's just, I feel like there's been a lot of teetering, a lot of being in two minds over the last couple of months. And I think that for a lot of you, it goes all the way back to home, your childhood home. It goes all the way back to a feeling of uncertainty or a lack of security, or where your insecurities were born. It goes back to that. And that's what keeps you in two minds. And I often encourage people, like, this is a meditation that I've done where I have literally sat and imagined myself in my childhood home. And I've looked around. I looked around at the environment. I looked around at, you know, how I was treated, or how I behaved, or how I reacted. And I really looked at, like, I actually, like, put myself there in meditation as if I was still in that environment to really understand how that framed the way that I think about myself today. And I think that could be important for some of you, because maybe it's affected your relationships with people. It's affected your ability to be vulnerable. It's affected your ability to be seen. It's this vulnerable energy. It's affected how you put yourself out there in career, how you put, and you could have a good career, but maybe it's something that you really don't want to do, but you just do it because it's secure. And you haven't really put yourself out there in terms of something that you really, really, truly want to do. Because you're scared to be vulnerable. You're scared to be seen. You're scared. Because what if you go all in and it doesn't work out? And then are you just going to be kicking yourself because you did it, right? And so maybe it's easier to just stay in a place that just feels comfortable because it's what you know, right? But anyway, so I feel like there's something that here, I mean, looking at this home, it looks very childhood homey to me, honestly. And I feel like there's a realization of how this has affected your sense of authority over your own life, okay? And I get the sense that there is a planting of the seeds right here, this Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning, a fresh start, a new way of being. For some of you, this could physically be you're like moving to a new home. Two of Cups, the Four of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. You could be moving in with somebody, getting married to somebody, that kind of thing. So if you've been waiting to see when it's your turn, then here it is. It's your turn. But I also feel like this is... Oh, I lost my train of thought. Darn it. For some of you, though, I feel like it can also be about being seen in an area of your life where you want to feel the most security and you haven't felt that. So whatever that looks like for you, okay? But I do see that there is a realization of how something has held you back, most likely your own mind and your own view of yourself. It just got like really quiet here. Like it got really like the air just like went like dead quiet. It's wild. And then now I can just hear all these little birdies chirping. But like the air, you know, does that ever happen to any of you guys where like the air just goes silent? And so I think that there's a reason for that, because the birds bring messages, right? Birds bring messages. And you have the owl right here. I'm getting the sense, you have the owl right there. I'm getting the sense there are a lot of messages that are coming in for you in terms of intuition. You can also be physically getting messages as well, but I really get the sense that there are messages that are coming into you. Birds seem to be very important, okay? And birds are what? They are free. They are free. They can fly free. They can go wherever they want to go unless they're trapped in a cage. They can fly free. And I think this is the thing that is going to set you free. And do you see how this is dealings with a relationship with a woman? This could be a mother. Okay? It says blonde, gray, or white hair. So it could be a mother, it could be a grandmother. This is going to be important. You got the home next to the mother. There is some sort of energy that is coming to the surface for you in terms of your relationship with your mother. And how the understanding of yourself and the way that you see yourself is so deeply rooted in that relationship. In this particular area of your life that you are associating this reading with. So like, say for instance, if you were now a parent, there could be a lot of energy regarding your mother that's like that's like hanging over that area of your life. Okay? But there is a harnessing of your power. And there's a harnessing of understanding the way that I do things and the trajectory that I'm on in my life is right for me. And you may not agree with it, and you may not understand. And it doesn't have to be a mother, it could be parents, but you may not understand my path in my life. But it's okay because it's not your life, right? You're playing a different role. You are moving beyond the roles that you have been assigned in your life. You are shedding the skin. You are emerging as the phoenix, as a new version of yourself in a new energy. You are emerging, Taurus. You are being set free. Like, wholly and completely, you're being set free in an area of your life where you have been feeling extremely held back. And I think that this right here, this frying pan, like I actually am getting like from this energy, I'm getting like a full moon release. Like you're releasing this. You're actually releasing the fear of trouble. You're releasing the fear of conflict. You're releasing the fear of, of being yourself, being on this path, walking through this doorway, going in a new direction. You're releasing the fear of the judgment that you'll receive if you do this. And that's fine with me, guys. That's totally fine with me. And I think that it's totally worth it because you are being called to change. And that is why things are uncomfortable. That's just why. This reading. Okay, so let's get you a closing message, Taurus. King of Swords. King of Swords is definitely the card of removing the emotions from the situation, removing the insecurities. That's part of our emotional processing. Removing them and making decisions logically. If you did not have any emotional attachment to your worries and insecurities and self-doubts, and you didn't give any possible energy to that whatsoever, and it was all just like mental, like this is what I want to do and I'm going to make this decision and I'm going to go for it, and that's that. That's that. Like if you took a very pragmatic approach to what you want to do in your life, and you just decided these are the steps that I need to take. I'm not even going to worry about what's going on with me in terms of my subconscious and my emotions, my insecurities about myself. I'm just going to take these steps. Okay? What would you do and how would you do them? Because I feel like that could be the approach right now. Because honestly, think about it. Like and that's the light at the end of the tunnel. That's the wisdom, right? That there's the hermit again, bringing you the light at the end of the tunnel, bringing you a new sense of awareness. These are the steps that I need to take. I'm going to do these things. I'm not going to give any of my weight and energy right now. I'm not even going to try to fight the battle with my ego and my subconscious and my wounds and my insecurities. I'm not even going to do it, because what I'm going to do instead, these are the steps that I need to take, and I'm just going to do them. I'm just going to do them. And I know that sounds like, trust me when I tell you, I know that sounds easier said than done. Because like I said, the ego can be so loud. The subconscious, the ego, whatever, like it can be so loud. Our insecurities can be so loud. They really can. And I know that. But if you decide, this is about deciding in your mind, this is what I desire, this is what I'm manifesting, this is what I'm going after, and I'm going to take steps one at a time, and I'm going to, like, I'm telling you, position of authority. I am going to do this. I am going to do this. Period. There's nothing that's going to stop me. My mind is made up with that King of Swords. My mind is made up. There is nothing that is going to stop me. I'm doing this. And I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to be afraid. Right? That's what you're going to tell yourself. I love you guys. I hope that this helped somebody. And if you do like my content, I hope that you like and subscribe. It really helps me grow my channel, and I love having you here, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.